the 44th President of the United States. Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, the first African-American president, and that's part of the allure. His youth is part of the allure. But there are always young mavericks who come along, John Kennedy, and maybe this president, and just say, no, now is the time. Now's the time I can seize the moment. Well, that was 5 years ago today. I just remember how cold it was that day. And what does the president say is still getting in his way? Look at what he told the New Yorker. There's no doubt that there's some folks who just really dislike me because they don't like the idea of a black president. Now, the flip side of it is there are some black folks and maybe some white folks who really like me and give me the benefit of the doubt precisely because I'm a black president. The Fox Business Network, Charles Payne, who says if anything is holding this president back, it's his policies. It's not his race. What do you mean?
Well, the policies have been, listen, you've had 5 years. You've got a report card. It's a terrible report card. And you have to pay the consequences no matter who you are, no matter what color you are. You know, here's the thing that really, for me personally, is really disappointing with President Obama. I thought he was uniquely positioned to take the country to the next level with respect to race relations. Nobody would argue that there's not racism out there and that there's still ways to go. But in my lifetime, there's been some amazing progress. I thought he was the right person maybe to take us to the next level, because I think one thing that we all can agree on, this notion that we want to be a more perfect nation, I think the country's worked real hard toward that, and that's one thing I think every American should be proud of.
This is the first time, you know, his people and staff have alluded to the fact that maybe...
He's alluded to it also.
Well, yeah, you're right. Not as much. This was a little bit more overt, even though he covered himself by saying, you know, I probably have many fans and many in the black community who like me precisely because I'm African-American. But do you think he tipped his hand that this is how he feels in his core, that a lot of the grief he encounters, a lot of the resistance he encounters because people are racist?
You know, here's the thing. I can't say if I know that he feels that in his core, but I think he knows that when he says that, it energizes his base. In other words, okay, you know, and it gets them going, gets them pushing buttons, it gets them making phone calls. Hey, you know, you guys, this has been a do-nothing Congress, not because they don't like the ideas that have been put forward in front of them, but because of race. And, you know, and here's the thing. The president's had a lot of opportunities to come out on the other end of this. And I'll tell you one area that he's been really bad, for instance, with the Tea Party. He let the media and other people portray the Tea Party as this racist new coming of the Ku Klux Klan. Never once said anything. Never once went to a Tea Party rally. Never once said, let me go find out for myself. He, during the elections, when Vice President Biden would suggest to a group of black people that the Republicans want to put y'all back in chains. I mean, this is despicable stuff. This is stuff that it would be amateurish and evil in some respects to even think that the Vice President of the United States would say that to a group of people. And so, yeah, the president has orchestrated this in a sense that he's allowed it to happen. But I think this is a sense of desperation right now. Going into the midterm elections, popularity sinking, not coming back. This might be the only, you know, in case of emergency break that they've got left.
Why is it, and you've experienced this firsthand, almost monolithic support among the African-American community for Democrats in general, for this president in particular, and it's always 95, 96%, election in, election out. Why?
You know, I got to tell you, a lot of that I blame on Republicans. You know, when I talk to conservatives and they tell me they don't want to pander, I said, what the hell do you mean you don't want to pander? You know, you're selling yourself. You're selling a message. By the way, if this is a great message for everyone, then put it out there as a great message for everyone. You're not pandering. That's ridiculous. So you de facto have given this away. You have given away this vote, and you have not put up a legitimate challenge at all. You don't put it up every 4 years by visiting the NAACP convention. That's not really credible, you know. So it's a message that's been put forth by the mainstream media. It's been put forth through mythical lore.
Does it ever get tough for you personally?
It does, but I got to tell you, 2 weeks ago, a bunch of my buddies came to the house, all guys I grew up with, Bronx and Harlem. If you listened to our conversation and you didn't know color, you would think they were all in the Tea Party. I mean, all the things that they're bitching about, you know, it's like the job situation, the growth situation, the tax situation, the healthcare situation, all the things that they were complaining about, you would say, golly, this sounds like the perfect GOP candidate. But to your point, probably all of them would vote for Obama again. Although I guarantee you, if they ever had a GOP candidate that spoke to them in a certain way that made them think that he or she liked them, they would consider changing the vote.
real quickly, man, I seen you at a big party at your house, and I guess my invite got
After
lost.
inviting you 53 times, I figured, you know what? I got the
Really?
message.
I don't remember the 53,
Well, I guess it was the part about the Italian sausage. And I said, I
that's
don't know if we're
fine.
gonna have
That's
that.
enough. That's some holiday. Okay, there we go. Charles Payne. Well,